Hey guys, God bless. Welcome back to my channel and the series on modesty. We will now go into part 1. If you missed the intro, don't worry, I will have it in the description box. Today, same day, same shirt obviously, we're going to talk about, let's talk about convictions. Because I kind of touched about that a little bit in the intro because I wanted you guys to hear what I went through and what I got to say about it in general. And obviously, I'm going to make it personal. And then I'm going to have biblical truth in here too. But my personal convictions increased after marriage. And that also ties into with me getting closer with God, because I truly, honestly believe that when me and my husband met, this thing took place. Like, we were saved before, but I truly believe the ultimate process of sanctification with evidence, like full-blown evidence, began to take place once we got married. Reason being, mainly because me and him, we both had children outside of us. We both were actively involved with others, inappropriately. And we were saved and we knew better, and we were struggling because we were trying to depend on our own will and might. And for me, I was at the prime of my existence. And that meant my shape and everything to me was, I had no complaints. I felt like I was perfect. I was 34 here. I'm not sure about the measurements in the waist, but I wore like a size 9 in juniors, size 9'11". That was 7.5 shoe. To me, that was, I'm like, I'm perfect. I can always go find my size. I didn't have, well, obviously, we're going to find little things wrong with us, but for the most part, I just felt like I was good. I just had my one daughter, and my body snatched back a long time ago. And I dressed accordingly. Like, I worked a lot of call center, customer care jobs. So most of the time, I dressed as cute and as unique as I wanted to. So I wore jeans. I was real heavy on jeans for a spell. I love my Levi's, and they were skinny jeans. And right now, I don't want any jeans but skinny jeans, but because they're harder to find in my size, then I just don't wear them. Like, I don't wear jeans anymore. But I love the fact that they were complimenting my exact shape, because I had small legs. I still have small legs, like real small ankles, and that small leg up into that calf. And then it gets a little normal, kind of weird. Even, like, seriously, it is kind of weird. And then it's just thighs for days. And then, of course, I always had a nice curve, and I always wanted to showcase that. And God, there were little seeds and stuff planted here and there, but nothing too concrete until I got married. And he's like, what are you wearing? Now, here's the problem. And this is why I talked to him about it. And y'all know, when we don't agree, we just don't agree. But my thing was, a person in his position now, because obviously he wasn't a pastor then, but I was like, even now, I was like, there's a problem, because literally you had absolutely zero to say about my appearance until I was exclusively yours. But you pursued me in the state of where I was, my skin tight jeans, my form-fitting dresses. You pursued me in that manner, and that caught your attention. And you bypassed because mind you, he met me in church. So you obviously bypassed all the other holy dressed women, and you saw me and you said, I like how that looks, because you didn't know you can't see my personality from the back. You know what I'm saying? And that was just me being real. Like, and he said, yeah, okay, I did like what I see. And he claimed that he admired the fact that I was in church by myself, but I was like, I'm grown. why wouldn't I be in the church by myself? Like, who's gonna hold my hand and take me to church? I was grown. Well, anyway, that's my issue in general with men and women. Like, you get married with someone and all of a sudden it's a sin to dress and behave a certain way. Now you can say if you guys are growing and maturing and being sanctified in the Lord, then that's understood. But just a blank 360, like, cover up. Hold up. And obviously, I'm not saying it was okay for that person to be uncovered, but I'm saying we gotta do better in setting a standard and a tone for people looking on to us and our children and even for ourselves, because we have to come to that conclusion and admit that we find this attractive. We like this. I like my skin tight dresses. I love them because they showed exactly what I had. I admired the attention I was getting. This is something I struggle with too. And it took me a while to be like, look, Shar, you liked it. Because a part of me was so stuck on, I just felt good about me. And don't get me wrong, because God showed me that I was vain and shallow as I do not know what. Like, I was very particular about myself and the person I used to deal with. Sometimes I was blinded by foolishness. But y'all, God had to do a work in me because I measured other people based on what I was looking like. So, like, you had to match what I had. And if you didn't, you were not good enough. And that was in size, shape, height, complexion, all of that. And boy, there was some shallow stuff going on. And interesting enough, Jacob was shallow too. He was really shallow. And it's funny that we got each other, and I think we both, to a certain extent, can say that we would not have initially pursued each other anyway. I think we can admit that. But the biggest thing was God had to do a work. And it didn't start until I allowed change to take place. Because a lot of things that people don't feed into is because they truly, strongly, completely do not want to. People who argue that the shape thing, and this is why I want to talk about it, because I was the one with the shape. People argue the shape thing, saying women cannot control how they're shaped, but they don't never want to go to the point where nowadays you can literally shop by measurements from neck down. Like, we're really specific in the fashion world today where we wasn't before. And it's no excuse to me. And I'm going to get into that in another video, but right now I'll just leave it at, to me, there's no excuse. If you're willing to shop in general, you got the financing means to shop, you definitely can take time and effort to making sure these things fit. I know a lot of people are moving on to shopping online, and I understand that could be a problem because models are just now starting to look like normal people. But I would say everything in moderation. Get a few pieces, like do a little haul with your dynamics, a shirt, a bottom, a dress, and figure it out as you go. And be smart, because for me, I always say, if it's a little big, I can deal with it. But if it's too small, you got a problem. Because more than likely, you're going to still try to wear it, and you're going to be inappropriate. That's what a problem comes into. But for me, I always shop inexpensively, and I always had a unique sense of style. I did not like looking like everybody else, which made it a little more complicated and harder when going shopping, because I would look for the sparingly random things that somebody may not even look at. But then when I put it on, it's like, where'd you get that from? Walmart. It's right there. But that was just me. I could put things together. And I had to deny myself for a season of that shopping. God helped, because, like I said, transition between marriage and bills and finances and blending a family, money wasn't the same as it was when it was just me and Ariana. So shopping wasn't a splurging thing anymore. It was like, no, there's bills to pay now. And that helped a lot. Prioritizing your bills definitely helps. Even with when I talk about hoarding and stuff, because I had a problem with hoarding clothing and shoes for a season too. If you actually take care of your bills and then come back to that pile of splurging, your heart and your mind should slowly and surely start to change. Even in reference of clothing, like I used to go to the mall on my lunch break and shop. Didn't care about food. I was looking for clothes and shoes. Had it bad, y'all. And even with my weight being inconsistent, I saw God working in that too, because right when I was superficial, vain, shallow, arrogant, about myself and boasting, boy, that weight would go in. I was just like, oh God. And even now, I'm at a place where I'm real careful and particular about what I put on. And not even because of who I am, because obviously I am a married mother, married to a pastor. So obviously there's some weight with that. There's some pressure. But ultimately now it's just like 200 pounds. Excuse me. Allergies want to mess up every time I come in here. Maybe it's too high. But anyway, 200 pounds is not a cakewalk. It ain't the heaviest, but 200 is right where things start getting tricky as far as transition between that X large and that large, or that 1X kind of thing, which 1X is bigger than extra large, in case you didn't know. But it gets a little tricky because a lot of times, like, I'm buying stuff and it ends up being too big, too loose, too baggy. And I deal with it, but naturally, it doesn't always work out. Like, it's like walking around in a trash bag. But I'm comfortable, and at least I got to a point where I say, you know what, God, you've really been dealing with my heart, because at one point, I wouldn't dare wear something that was overly too big for me. But thank God for growth. How did I get to the point of being convicted? Was definitely staying in my word, being washed by the word, listening to the Holy Spirit, actually being quiet and listening for God to speak and deal with you. And always praying, Lord, create in me a clean heart and renew my spirit. Always praying, Lord, whatever's not meant for me, whatever means me harm, to remove it and eliminate it. God, show me. I remember I went through a season where I prayed that so hard and so passionately, y'all. I'm talking about, excuse me, tears, bawling, rolling, crying, headache. Like, God, show me. Show me. Like, the more you read about not taking this flesh into heaven, all these icky, nasty things, and, being a new creature, the more you read about that, the more you start saying, Lord, take these things away from me. And one of the biggest things for women is appropriateness and modesty, moderation. And that's why I say it's two separate things, but they're combined, because moderation deals with appropriate amounts of things, like don't have a closet of 200 dresses. 20 is a decent amount, in my opinion. 20 is good. I know some people can do less than that, but I say 20 is fine. And it all also based on your starting point, because you have to work your way this way. Just like people in church and different age ranks and things. You got children, teens, young adults, middle age, or then your seasoned and your elders. Like, we all had a starting point, and we all end up at different levels because our age and our maturity, but the starting point is the same. And the end point is the same. Like, we all should get to the same conclusion that we need to do things in moderation. We all should come to that same conclusion. Same thing with jewelry and getting your hair done, things of that nature, and your nails and stuff. And these are obviously sensitive things, having the long nails and stuff. Some people say, well, I can deal with it. I'm good. I'm used to this. But my thing is, when people see you, they're going to be more drawn to your nails than yourself and getting to know your personality. And that's not good. And it has nothing to do about you being a bad person. It's like, what are you showing first? there's that in between moderate size nail that we can, you know, seek out. The same thing, like I said, with the jewelry and the beads and stuff and the necklaces. You can sit here and have 20 necklaces around your neck, or you can have 3 very appropriate pieces and, you know, be modest and be doing something in moderation. The same thing with the makeup. I've seen makeup that was gorgeous and beautiful and flawless. And then I've seen the overly dramatic things. And I'm going to get into that in another video too, where I feel like Satan has used women to magnify that word drama, dramatic. Like, women carry gossip and drama and things of that nature. You know, you got your reality TV and stuff, and people try to be like this in real life. And then the dramatics of makeup, jewelry, and hair, like people want bigger, longer hair. And then we got braids sweeping the floor, hoops way out here, eyelashes way out there. Like, Satan is really using women to be dramatic and to bring about that negative attention. And it has spilled into the church, into almost a sense of normalcy, and it's not okay, in my opinion. But like I said, we're talking about me and what I think in this video, so I'm gonna wrap it up because the video's long, and stay tuned for part 2. Love you guys. God bless. Take care. Bye.